You've been in isolation for a while, going through the loading stage of life, and now a new timeline has presented itself, but you are unsure if this is the move you should make. This is a quick message from the universe. Chosen one. Chosen one. You've been through the ringer. All right, you've been through the ringer, you've walked through the fire, you've been through a lot of things in the last year or two. You found yourself in that phase. There's a part of the spiritual awakening, and a lot of people go through this, right? And um, I see it in so many of y'all. Um, but this is what it is, right? It's that phase when everybody starts to turn on you. Everything starts to turn on you, and so you end up in a weird situation because you lose your backbone or your support, meaning your family. You lose. It seems as though you don't have anybody, and then this is how you end up in these weird situations with honey traps or chosen one Olympic situations, right? You've been through that. You've walked through, that part of time where everybody um was changing on you. Everybody was leaving you out to dry. Everybody was, on some weird whatever, right? And so you've come to that, right? You went through it. A lot of you experienced what is known as the dark night of the soul. Um, a lot of you are starting to see things for what they are. Well, chosen one, you've come to a place in time where you've been in isolation for a while. After you made it through what you made it through, you've been in isolation. You've been chilling. You've been out the way, and in this isolation stage, you know, a lot of people don't know how to make their next timelines load, and they stay in isolation, and they think that the isolation stage is the end, right? You go through all this shit, then you just spend the rest of your life alone. A lot of people don't know what to do when they find themselves in this stage. Well, you're in this stage, chosen one, and what this stage is, this isolation stage, this is the time of reflection and time to put in the work on you. Um, you have timelines that are being loaded, but they require you to be a certain version of yourself. And this could be something as simple as, working out, getting in shape. You're in isolation for a year. This year is dedicated to fixing your health. Fixing things like your gut health. A lot of times you go through these chosen one Olympics, your gut be fucked up because you digesting all types of toxins and weird shit. You got to get your health back. You got to work yourself back. This isolation stage, after you go through this spiritual awakening, it's time for you to nurse yourself back. Whether that's mentally, physically, creatively. This is where you find yourself when you're seeing that you're being in this isolation zone. And this is why, you're somebody usually in life where relationships keep coming to you. Um, in this isolation zone, there's gonna be relationships sent to you, but this is because if you can make it through ISO by focusing on yourself and tapping in with yourself, you expand to higher timelines. The matrix desires to pull you back into these low frequency timelines. So in this isolation stage, a lot of you are noticing when you try to deal with people or help people, it gets weird real fast. Yeah, cut them off. Isolation, this is not what you're supposed to be doing, right? You're supposed to be tapped in with yourself. But a lot of you find yourself in this stage, and this is because you have to do the work. Like, it could be simple, like start creating your content, whatever. what you do in ISO determines what timeline is loading. With Chosen One, you found yourself in that ISO situation, and you've been in ISO. And if you're finding yourself in ISO, pay attention. Listen to what I'm saying. We giving you the sauce, giving you the blueprint. Just listen, download. So you're putting in that work, Chosen One. You've been in ISO. You've been focused on your health. You probably done got into great shape. Probably eating habits very healthy. Fixed your mental, your gut, all these crucial things that come when it comes to rendering this reality. Um, and now, Chosen One, you're 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 seeing that you're hitting the ceiling, and you're wondering why are you hitting this ceiling, and instead of continuing to go up, you've boomed and you're hitting the ceiling. Um, it's because that move that you've been hearing in your mind, yo, move here. It's time to move there. It's time to go there. If it's in your mind, go there. And a lot of you have people have you've had opportunities now. You're getting opportunities to move, and this is sometimes that move that when you make that move is gonna upload. It's gonna allow for new timelines to open. Like every time that I have made a move in my life, I leveled up. After I made it through at these specific times, what I'm telling you, like every time I made a move in my life, it opened a timeline. It made a way for me to upgrade. You've been through the worst of the worst, Chosen One. You've been through the Chosen One Olympics. You've been through all of these things. Um, you've been through the worst of the worst. There's nothing that is going to uh there is nothing that's going to get worse than it was. And understand what you've been through. You've gained the ability to dead ass read people. You've gained the ability of discernment. You've gained the abilities to know what people uh you know what people got on their mind, whether they operating in trying to help you or they trying to destroy you. You can see it, you know? And so um you've leveled up in navigation. And a lot of times when you think about these moves, right, when they come up, when they pop up, like, yo, do I make this move? Whatever, whatever. You want to get back into that mindset of thinking like, damn, last time I made a move, I found myself in Chosen One Olympics. Fuck. But the difference is between these moves is a lot of times now these are attached to people that that you've been knowing for a while, which could be helpful in shit like that. Helpful NPCs, or these are moves that you have the money to make the move. You just don't know nobody. You're gonna be by yourself. But the difference is between that is with like in the Chosen One Olympics is you was going when you went to Chosen One Olympics, when you made that move, that was predicated behind either a love relationship or friendship or some type of opportunity. All right. This right here, this move has popped up in your mind, and it's telling you to make this move or whatever. This is because when you make this move, um, and like I said, you've been putting in the work, these opportunities and new timelines are here. So that new opportunity and that timeline of the things that you're thinking of accomplishing and making happening, it is already happening and is right here. It's just requiring you to trust in your higher self and make the move. Um, you've hit the ceiling where you at, and the place where you're at no longer can load your timeline. You've done everything. So that move that's been coming into your mind, it's time for you to make it. It's going to elevate you and allow new opportunities and new timelines in a higher fashion.